But I'm super hyped about this next one. This is a pretty popular thing that's been going around. But if you guys have seen people do those like tier lists, you know, like the S tier, A, B, C, D, you know, F or whatever. I like watching those. Those are really fun. So we got a couple tier lists that will have you guys help us fill out for a bunch of different stuff. So let me switch over. This next tier list, we have albums. These are Chesco and I's some of our favorite albums. They're all good in their own regard.
The baseline is that it's a pretty great album. I like the discussion we're having of like, what are the different kinds of greatness that we assign to an album. 24K Magic is great, but also To Pimp a Butterfly is great. But are they the same, you know?
Right.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so what's the first album we got coming up?
All right, let's do a nice run of the mill here. Let's do Justin Timberlake, The 2020 Experience.
The album itself is very grand. Classic songs like Mirrors, Suit and Tie, cool Jay-Z feature on there. I think it's Justin Timberlake's best album. I know that's a little bit controversial because he's come out with pretty good albums. Where does it rank on this tier of greatness? Vince Logan says C. A Miracle Garrison says C. Vince Logan says it's too much to be B or above. I like what we're talking about with C. I think
C.
I think C.
I think that's a good place for now. Next up, we got Take Care by Drake.
This could be interesting because if you ask me, this is an S tier album.
Oh man.
It defined an era. It took what Kanye did in terms of rapping about stuff other than, you know, gangster rap.
Yeah.
It took that and put it all the way to the other side where now it's like soft rap. Like that's a thing. Like you have people writing bars about, you know, oh, I hope I miss her so much. And you would never hear that in the 90s. Are you kidding me? And also it's defined so many different artists that have come after. And also it's written pretty much almost entirely, not entirely, but almost half by The Weeknd. And for that, I have to give it an S.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you with that one. I think this is an S tier. This is an iconic album. I think definitely redefined an era of R&B and rap merging together. Some great features on it. There was... Yeah,
let me read all the features out, actually.
Yeah.
We obviously got The Weeknd on Crew Love, My God.
Classic song.
Rihanna on Take Care, another classic. Kendrick on Buried Alive Interlude, Nicki Minaj, Birdman, Rick Ross, Andre 3000, and obviously Lil Wayne is going to be on there. It's a stacked album. It's a perfect album in my opinion, but I've heard the argument that it hasn't aged as well as some of his other albums.
I'll agree to that, but I still think it stands enough to be in the S tier. Moving to our next one, we got, all right, this is one of my picks, Modus Vivendi by 070 Shake.
Yes.
This is a really cool album. Conceptually, production is great. Mike Dean, again, on the producing. I think her lyricism is awesome. Like this retro futurism thing, I think this is the album that defined that aesthetic.
Definitely gonna give her an A. Vince Logan.
A.
Leslie.
We thinking A's?
Well, I think we're thinking A's.
All right. We'll put her in the A tier. That's pretty high.
I like it.
All right. Trap Soul, Bryson Tiller.
It's another one of those albums that defines an era for me.
I'm leaning towards an A because I don't know if it's like as much of an S tier as like Take Care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not as like impactful or, you know. I think A is a good spot for it. I think
all right. It definitely has its place in like music history, which I think is why I think it belongs in this A tier right here.
Yeah, one of the easiest listens I think you'll ever. Yeah. Right up there with Daytona for me, which I think, by the way, is another one of the albums up. So let's just go ahead and bring that up. Daytona.
Yeah. All right, Daytona. What are we thinking? Are we thinking?
Pusha T.
You said similar.
Yes. I'm not gonna say it brought back coke rap, but there has been an uptick in trend in coke rap. Freddie Gibbs and Pusha T, I think, are the two. And also Daytona gave us one of the most iconic moments ever. Yeah. With setting up the Drake Pusha T beef. And also it's just one of the easiest listens ever. It's only 7 songs. Each and every song is concise. It brings something different to the album. I think we're having the same conversation, A or S.
I'm leaning towards S because this was probably one of the best like EPs in general that I've heard. Production is insane. The bars are insane. The whole aesthetic is so hard. Like, you know, like just like the if you know, you know. And
I was looking at Kanye videos of like the 50 Cent Kanye beef. It was kind of like gangster rap versus, you know, artful Kanye, Chipmunk Soul, sample rap. And there's a lot of comments saying that gangster rap never existed after this beef. And now that comment hasn't actually aged well, because now we're back to, not that gangster rap is like the trend, but it's there. It's a very pronounced genre of rap. And yeah, I think it definitely deserves, an S, because I think we're still seeing its impact as it goes. Can't wait to see what the next Pusha T album is like. So,
right. So, yeah. That's gonna be crazy. All right, next up we got 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars.
So this is another one of those albums that is like a super easy, tight listen. Like it's only like 8-9 songs. I don't know. What do you think about this one? I know I picked it, but I was wondering what's your feeling about this?
I think it's one step above the JT 2020 experience. I think they're very similar in the grand. His is more 90s. JT's more like 2012, like Tumblr era. You know what I mean?
The blog era.
Yeah. But I think it's sitting nice at a B. Chat's agreeing with me, but
I like B.
I think it's a great album. He wrote that album for like 2 years. He toured that thing. I see this as a Christmas album, in my opinion.
I like that. I never thought of it as that.
I think it's looking nice in the B tier. All right, next up we got Igor, Tyler the Creator.
Igor. Yes.
I feel like we might get some interesting takes on this.
Yes, I would love to hear the chat's thoughts on this. It's obviously, one of the best albums of that year. Vince Logan says B, Ree Curry says A. From those responses, what are you feeling? Where are you leaning more towards? B, A, S?
I think I'm leaning towards an A. Not sure it's S tier yet. Maybe I listened to it one too many times.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, but there are times when a song from it will come on in the shuffle, and I'm like, I'm gonna let this one play out, and like, it's such its own like vibe, and similar to all these, like Modus Vivendi. Every song on there is such a specific vibe. Every song on TRAPSOUL, when I listen to it, I kind of want to listen to the whole thing. So I'll put it in the A tier.
I like it. Yeah, A sounds good to me.
We got After Hours.
Hey. So I feel like there is going to be an outrage if we put it anywhere other than where I think we have to put it.
I think we know our audience here. But
so
no,
D is what you're saying.
I'm thinking this is like a strong
not that
D.
great.
It's alright.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's kind of forgettable.
Trash, bag of trash album.
So stupid. Yeah,
strong
let's
D.
leave it at D. Yeah, strong D. It's not complete garbage. It's still a strong D.
Next up, we got The Slow Rush, Tame Impala.
I like it. There's some really good hits off this album. Patience and what's that one? Something About Yesterday?
Yeah. So Lost in Yesterday. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a great project. Really enjoyable songs. Definitely a cleaner production than Currents. Currents felt a little more indie, but that gave it a lot of its character. And I don't think this is better than Currents. I'll say that. I think this belongs in the A tier. If Currents was on this list, that would be in the S. But I don't think it's as good as that. Next up, we got Thundercat. It Is What It Is.
Yes, this album is one of those I haven't listened to.
Really?
I don't know why it sounded like I've heard it, but so I'm gonna let you guys decide. Thundercat is obviously like one of the most prominent like funk artists out there. Yeah. What is this album like?
This album is one of the most like refreshing albums that I've listened to in a long time. I think it's so charismatic, it's so funky, it's such a vibe, but it's also spacey at the same time. It's actually very atmospheric and feels like I'm wandering through time and space. Like I feel like some of the tracks feel like I'm time traveling, especially in the beginning and how this album opens.
Wow. Lyrics
are both like hilarious and just really well written at the same time. Thundercat has such like a personality. For me, this is like super subjective. I'm probably gonna put this in the S tier. It's that good. I'm telling you.
There you go.
Pretty good.
All right. Next on the list.
I saw this on your list. We got Black Panther, the Black Panther soundtrack. I thought this was an interesting one to include.
Yes. The Black Panther album came out obviously in conjunction with the Black Panther movie in 2018, and it was pretty cool because Kendrick Lamar was like curating the album. So it's almost like label record, like something like Young Slime, Young
Dreamville
Slime
or
Language, Dreamville.
Yeah.
It really morphed into the aesthetic of the movie. You know, you hear like some of the sound effects, like the drums are literally like taken from the movie. And also like the title of the song, I think like King's Dead was meant to represent like Michael B. Jordan plays like this, you know, estranged cousin character who ends up, you know, making his claim for the throne. And it's pretty cool because the song is based off of that, King's Dead. Man, that was just such an iconic moment too, 2018. Yeah. That whole year was just full of hip hop greatness. The aesthetic is really what did it for me. Just having the sound effects was crazy.
Yeah, I love
just made
that.
It very memorable. Made it very memorable for me.
I think this is probably one of the best like movie soundtracks to ever come out, especially like the amount of features on here, like SOB RBE, like bro, like Bay Area rep, like
they actually performed at my prom, at my high school prom, because you went to our high school and I went to a different one.
Right. Wow. And that sounds like a way better prom. What the fuck?
It was cool. It was cool. Where are we thinking? We got people saying B, A or B. Leslie says B plus. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm either at A or B.
I might give it a B, only because it's a soundtrack, and even though it did do what it was supposed to do really well compared to like a full album, you know what I mean? If I could do like a B.5 or a B plus or an A minus kind of thing, I would. All right, next up, we got Rodeo. Travis Scott. Big hitter. Rodeo, this was kind of my first taste of Travis Scott. Definitely its own vibe, its own sound. Some people say their favorite Travis Scott album or their favorite album of all time.
I've heard the greatest trap album as well. Yeah.
And I probably would agree. One of the best trap albums. Are we thinking S? I'm seeing a lot of S in the chat.
Yes. So if we're looking at who we have Take Care, we have Daytona, and we have After Hours. All of them have, you know, contributed to the overall like landscape of music. I would say that Rodeo applies as well. They've catapulted the artist to another level. You know, each of these albums have. Yeah. And I think that Rodeo did as well. So I think it deserves that S tier for sure.
Definitely. I think it's cool. Like what you said, like all of these albums are kind of like the album that pioneered their individual genre. Like Take Care for that pioneered like the more R&B rap infusion. Daytona for that hard gangster rap, that new wave of cocaine bars and shit like that.
Yeah.
The Weeknd for that 80s aesthetic, that dark, gritty, you know, nighttime music. Thundercat for the funk, and then we have Travis Scott for the trap. So I think this is looking good.
I love it. All
right. Next up, we got Case Study 1 by Daniel Caesar.
Okay, so Case Study 1. Do you think it's better than Freudian?
When it first came out, I actually didn't think it was better. But it took me a while to fully understand the concept of this album and the sound, and like I literally had to like look at all the visuals and see the rollout and all the merch, and I definitely think it's better than Freudian. I think has a level of maturity compared to Freudian. It is one of the better neo soul R&B albums of the year it came out. I still think it's timeless, so I'm thinking A tier for this one.
I like it. I think I think A tier. What do we got?
All right, next up we got Apollo 21 by Steve Lacy.
Oh, Steve Lacy, bro, is one of those artists that I just found out about. So you're gonna have to take this one. The chat's gonna have to take this one.
Also, if you haven't heard of any of these albums, these are all recommendations. So Steve Lacy, incredible artist. I would put him in the same genre as Thundercat. I think Thundercat approached it a little bit better in terms of that funk. This album alone sounds like it was taken out of the 70s or 60s and placed here, which is super cool. But I think in terms of as like a conceptual album, I love the look and the feel of it. I think where it comes up short a little bit is the track list. I feel like there are a few highlights, whereas the rest serve as transitions to those highlight tracks.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's a great project. But I think B tier. But definitely, if you guys haven't checked out Steve Lacy or any of his other projects, definitely check out this one. Really, really awesome. Sounds great on vinyl too. I have it. All right. Next up, Alfredo. Freddie Gibbs.
Like we were just saying before with gangster rap, it's back. You know, it's not it's not a thing of the past, and it's maybe you could argue the best it's ever been. With like Griselda, like they've been amazing. Alfredo, just flawless. Production is flawless. The Alchemist does his thing. Our Thoughts Producer of the Year.
Yes, sir.
And Freddie Gibbs he just oozes charisma on every single song with iconic bars. Yeah, I will probably put him in the A category because I don't think it has had the influence that the S tier albums have.
Yeah.
But I think it's right up there, man. It's greatness. It's greatness for sure.
Definitely, it's a strong A for me too. I think his next project, I'm gonna call it now. His next project will be S tier quality.
Damn.
He's assembling the Avengers of producers for that one, so I already know that's just gonna sound crazy.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna clip that, and we're gonna see how that ages as time goes on.
We'll see. Last few here, we got Good Kid, Mad City.
Whew.
Kendrick Lamar. With this album, Kendrick has come so far with his sound that I feel like he's so far away from this sound, especially with Damn. It's like so stripped back, whereas this is kind of the opposite.
He put a whole world in this whole album, man.
Yeah.
Good Kid, Mad City is just so grimy and so real, and the story is so interesting. Like, and also there's just a bunch of bangers on there. Like Poetic Justice it's one of the few Kendrick Lamar Drake collabs I feel like we'll ever get.
Yeah.
And it lives up to the expectation. You obviously got Mad City, which is just classic.
Art of Peer Pressure. Yeah. Just some of the best storytelling ever in a rap album.
Swimming Pool.
Pools. Yeah. Crazy.
Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. The Jay-Z remix of that song is incredible.
Really, I like it better. Yeah. Are we feeling an S tier for this?
I think so.
I think this is S.
I think it's just such a moment. It's such a defined moment in Kendrick's career, and Kendrick would go on to kind of define hip-hop for the next couple years. Definitely deserves the S.
For sure. Let's get a heavy hitter up there.
Okay.
Graduation. Kanye.
Wow. I mean, come on now. It's one of the most influential albums ever. That was the album that was beefing with 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Right? For the whole, like I referenced before, there was kind of this Clash of the Titans. They both dropped on the same week, and it would define what hip hop was going to be. Obviously, Kanye came out victorious, and we still see that influence today. You know, people like Chance the Rapper are still making billions off of that style from Graduation.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know we just keep giving out S's here, but these are all great albums. So
I think this is just a testament to our taste.
Yeah.
Definitely S tier. I think Vince said best vintage Kanye. I have to agree. Of all of his older albums, I think Graduation is something I enjoy the most. I might put this above My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, in my opinion.
Wow, that's saying a lot, because you know, the popular opinion is that it's his like To Pimp a Butterfly, where it's like it's the magnum opus, and wow, Graduation's over that. I like it. So
yeah, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is a great album. Same thing with To Pimp a Butterfly. They're both like awesome, like incredible albums. But I personally enjoy these two more than those.
What do we got next?
We got Ctrl by SZA. One of my favorite albums, but it's interesting putting it up against all these other ones.
It has the influence, but it doesn't. I don't think it has the influence that, you know, Rodeo had or Take Care had.
Yeah, no.
It has impact. Don't get it twisted at all. But, and also I do have one qualm with it, which is the skits.
Yeah.
You know,
the voice. Yeah.
all that stuff. So I think it's like for me personally, if we're saying what we're ranking it, it's the best B tier album, you know, on this list, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You could also say A. I'm not mad at you at all for saying A, but what are you thinking?
I think B is good. I think I don't know if it's as influential as these A's though. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Also, there's one album in the A category that I'm bumping down for sure. I'm not gonna say which one.
Okay.
But
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I think it's in the B.
It's in the B.
But I mean, look what it's going up against. So
Ctrl. Are we thinking B?
Yeah, B.
Cool.
All right. last few here. Blonde, Frank Ocean. I just say, you know, let's just get our last S tier out of the way real quick. I'm gonna just leave it right at the front here, you know.
Yeah.
Just, you know, I had to, you know, leave it up there. Final album here. We have Weyes Blood, Titanic Rising. Underrated album, in my opinion. Very underrated. Did you ever get a chance to check out this full project?
I haven't. So, what exactly is this? You know, this album?
It is. I wouldn't say it's psychedelic. It's like 70s rock. This is our modern day Fleetwood Mac.
Wow.
In my opinion.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
That's high praise.
An incredible album. Vocals are insane. Some tracks on here literally like transcend my mind.
Wow.
So it's as beautiful as it is like mind-bending, which is super cool.
Those are some adjectives right there.
Dude,
Jesus.
I'm telling you, man, like this whole album sounds like it could be a soundtrack to like a coming-of-age movie or like some powerful movie scene or something like that. So I'm gonna put it in this A tier. S tier's again another level, but it's a strong, probably one of the strongest in the A tiers.
Now, you said you had one that you wanted to bump down.
I have some adjustments I want to make.
Okay.
So I'll do them and then I'll see your reaction.
Actually, matter of fact, let me go take a bathroom break.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll be
go
right
ahead.
back.
Later.
Is this the final track list? I mean the final tier list? I think this might be it.
Are we ready?
Yeah, I think this is it.
Sorry, hold on. Let me put on my earphones.
Oh, he can't hear me.
Curry, he never returned. I love it.
I've discussed with the council.
Okay.
I think this is the final tier list.
So let me look what we got here. So
yeah,
every album on here is great in its own respect. Yeah. It's just a matter of, is this, I mean, we have criterias for each tier. I feel like, you know, S tier has the influence and the, you know, critical success. Meanwhile, A tier, you know, maybe it doesn't exactly have that influence. Yeah, there you go, guys. Our album tiers, our greatest album tier list. Thank you guys for helping out. That was really fun, man. I like the debates we had on there, man.
Yeah, definitely.